Hello everyone, and welcome back to Crafted Creations. Today I'm going to show you how to make a custom Jedi Baylan Skoll using the Baylan Skoll Star Wars Black Series and this Clone Wars Star Wars Black Series Mace Windu. First we're going to go ahead and take these figures apart using my boil and pop method. You can check out the link to the video down below for boil and pop so you can know how to easily take your figures apart. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use the skirt from the Baylan Skoll figure and slap that over onto the Mace Windu legs. And here I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do for the arms. I wanted to keep some elements of Baylan's armor design from the Ahsoka show on this figure, so I went ahead and swapped out the lower arms onto the Mace Windu upper torso, and pleasantly surprised to see that the neck joint fits pretty well onto the Mace Windu body as well. So now let's go ahead and get to painting. I wanted to go with a kind of an Anakin-inspired color scheme for this figure, given the dark side or elements of a dark side presence in the Ahsoka show, that whole gray Jedi wanderer kind of mystery dark side Jedi vibe. So I went with a darker color palette. Here I'm going to go ahead and mix some of this reddish brown with the chestnut. We're going to make a darker, kind of a chocolatey color. We're going to go ahead and paint the inside of the vest and the sleeves. And I'm going to use a dark gray for the parts of the comma, the overlays on there. We're going to go ahead and kind of give it more of like a inverted Anakin kind of color scheme. So we're going to go ahead and paint up the inside part here. Let's give that a nice coat. And the way that this skirt is designed, it has a nice little overlay on the front, but I'm going to paint behind it so that it looks like it's a separate piece of cloth. It'll give it more of a Jedi robes look. So we're going to go ahead and paint the side part here. You'll see what I mean in just a few moments once we start putting the gray touches on there. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this strip right up the middle. It'll kind of separate those two pieces that we're going to paint gray here in just a bit. Let's go ahead and fill in any gaps there and give it another quick coat. And here we'll do the other side. Just do a nice little outline there. And then here we're going to mix the gray with a little bit of black to darken that up a little bit. Give it more of a charcoal kind of color. And we're just going to go ahead and paint these two little strips of cloth here. And you'll see these line up pretty perfect with the upper torso on the Mace Windu body. So we're going to go ahead and paint the gray all the way up, and it'll make it look like the parts of the Jedi robes. I'm also going to paint the armor as well to kind of give that one nice little line so your eye kind of flows throughout the design. And I also wanted to kind of separate that so it doesn't look like the traditional just plain white clone armor, and I didn't want it to be fully gray to kind of copy directly off Anakin, so I kind of went with a half and half look here at the end. And go ahead and flip this upside down here just to get a better angle when doing some of these lines. And I haven't glued the shoulder pads yet, so we're going to go ahead and just flip that over so we can paint what's underneath. That way you don't get any of the old color showing through. There we go. Just do a little bit of a detail there on the trim, and then we'll go ahead and paint up these strips on the back side here. And if you look at it, you can see that it is one just piece of molded plastic, but the way that I painted these strips here, it does make it look like it's a totally new overlay. Gives it some three-dimensional look here, and it just pops a little bit once you see that out on the shelf. Then after we get this guy painted up, we're going to go ahead and just do a nice little dark wash over the hair on Baylan. I didn't want it to be like a super dark color, but it did want it to kind of show that he's his younger appearance. And originally I was just going to do a couple of the strips here, but I didn't like the way that that looked, so off camera I went ahead and painted the other portion on the outside. Left the middle part around the neck white, but the shoulders you'll see at the end of the video. I did paint that entire part gray. Just didn't like the way that it looked with the line of sight. It kind of looked a little too goofy. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a gray outline on the top and bottom part of the sash around the belt. And we'll just paint that little part right in the back there. And then here I just took some of that darker brown, watered it down a lot to kind of just do a little bit of a dark wash over the hair and the beard. There we go. Add a couple coats there to make him look a little bit younger. And then we'll be pretty much done with this figure after we get this touched up here. Probably add one or two more coats to the top part of the hair just to hide a little bit of that gray. Go in and darken up the mustache a little bit. There we go, looking pretty good. And there you have it, folks. There is my custom Jedi Baylan Skoll from the Clone Wars era. Got his Anakin-inspired colors, kept the gauntlets on there. Here he is with a lightsaber. I hope you liked this video. If you want to see more from me in the future, don't forget to drop by the channel, like and subscribe down below, and as always, stay crafty.